Hey guys, welcome to another video for the South Texas Gardener. In this video, I want to take a look at a pretty cool website here called WeatherSpark. This website isn't like your weather station websites that you'd get like on weather.com or AccuWeather or your local news weather. This one kind of gives you a broader spectrum, a broader view of the weather patterns in a given city. Uh, and you can see here, these are cities around the world. And you probably don't know what you're looking at just yet, but let's take a look let's find San Antonio here. San Antonio, we have 8B and 9A temperaments. So there's an enormous amount of data that this website can give you for any given city. So for example, here, San Antonio, there's four data points here. You have your overcast, how overcast it is given the year. So on your x-axis, you have January through December, and then you have here you have your precipitation. On average, our rainiest time of year is like in May, and also the fall, September, October, and how muggy it is on a given time of year. So the muggiest time of the muggiest time of year for San Antonio is in May, June, July, August, September, and it's also the hottest. And then you also got a beach and pool score here. So average temperatures, you can see like right now we're in early March and we're in the 80s, mid to upper 80s. We're above average for our temperatures and even above average for our low temperatures for the most part. So the one I really want to take a look at is this one. This to me is the coolest part of this website, the average hourly temperature for San Antonio. So on the x-axis, you have winter, March, April, May, all the way into the summer. Okay, so it's basically year-round, right? So from the winter all the way to the summer. And notice the green. Okay, if you look at the green here, so the blue there is frigid, lighter blue freezing, very cold. So in San Antonio, we typically have anywhere from very cold in the winter to cold or cool in the light green to comfortable in the yellow, warm, and then hot in the summer, right? And then on the y-axis, you can see the time. You have 12 a.m. midnight all the way to 12 a.m. again, a full 24 hours, and then 12 noon here. So on a given day, let's say right now, right, we're in March. So typically in March, this time of year, around midnight, we have cool temperatures up to even cold and even cool again, and then it gets nice and comfortable. It doesn't typically get hot. Not until we get into the summer does it get hot. Now notice that dark green, the cold, it's kind of narrowing down. So as we move along through the months into April, the chances of having cold weather lessen more and more to the point where we're no longer. So in mid-March is typically when we have our last frost date. But on average, our last frost date is March 1, but we're not out of the potential of a freeze until about mid-March. So it can absolutely happen up until mid-March. It has happened on record where, even into April it's occurred. But typically, this graph is showing us an average of what the San Antonio temperature is like. So going into, for example, the summer, see in the summer it's warm when we wake up. It gets comfortable for a little bit. This is the walking the dog hours, I like to call it, and then it gets warm again around noon, and then this is the stay inside and have indoor activities inside, or if it's not super hot, sweltering above 95, which it is a lot in San Antonio, then it's the pool time around this time. We like to go to the pool around sundown, so around 6, 7, 8, even up until 9. You can be at the pool and it'd be comfortable. Now, I want to show you something real quick. This is 2023, right? Let's go to 2021. We'll remember this because this was our incredibly cold winter. You guys remember in February? It was around mid-February. I think it was February 15th through the 19th where we got the freeze and all the snow in San Antonio. That's what that blue is. If you go back to looking at the average, I'll have to put the image up for 2021 and 2023 map, so you can compare that in 2021 in the winter we had that that really bad freeze. And then we come into 2021, that summer was pretty hot. So we had a pretty tough year that year. But the spring was pretty decent. I remember the spring being pretty decent. Like everything was just blowing up, blooming. And, a lot of people thought that we had more than average, higher than average blooming and yielding in fruit because of that winter. And so we had a great spring and then a hot summer. And then let's go to look at last year's summer. So again, we had a nice little cold spell there. And in March, about late March, it started getting hot, super hot, and it was hotter than average. And so I know for me, I had that. This was my worst gardening year. And as you can see here, we had some, like, it wasn't hot for too long a period of the day, but the thing is that it got super hot. It got into the hundreds. I think we had the second most 100-degree weather days on record in last summer. And then you can see here, once we got into May and June, July, September, August, September, I mean, it was just tough. It was, as you can see here, we woke up, it was warm. So that walking the dog, period was kind of gone, and it was just warm. We just had to tough it out. And then it was super hot for most of the day. And our plants, our tomatoes, our blueberries, avocados, nothing. Basically, I got nothing out of my garden last year except maybe a handful of tomatoes and a handful of blueberries, maybe. So this is a pretty cool website just to kind of compare, your average temperatures from year to year, going back to crazy. Compare San Antonio to Bangkok. How would you like to live in Bangkok? Bangkok was like our worst summer, but it's like that all year round. Isn't that crazy? Look at Bangkok. Super hot all the time. This is why they get all these exotic species of plants and animals that live over there. And here in San Antonio, on average, this is what we look like. So we have June, July, August. I believe August and July, kind of our hottest time of the year. And then our coldest time of the year is January, February. And our pleasant time is March, April, and May, and also October, November, and I would say even December is pretty pleasant. The only thing that keeps our gardens from growing more and more is the fact that we have those sudden super cold spells that kill off plants. But besides that, things would probably grow pretty long if we took care of them. But in any case, so this is a cool website. This is called weatherspark.com. You can compare San Antonio to Corpus, San Antonio to Houston, and there really isn't all that much difference. San Antonio to Dallas, you don't get all that much different readings in Texas. Again, if you go back to the video I made on the different hardiness zones, each hardiness zone is the difference between one and the other is 5 degrees basically of average, or not average, but the average coldest temperature we get in that year. So in any case, I hope you found this helpful. Again, this is weatherspark.com, a really cool website. Enjoy.